And I seen the photographs. His leg bone was sticking through right through his shin, where it had shattered. He had a hole in the side of his hip you can almost stick your fist in. The steering wheel snapped off. He caved his chest in so bad at the funeral we wasn't allowed to touch him.
I found the driver of the vehicle that Shanna struck. He was crushed into the driver's seat of the vehicle. I looked in the back seat and I saw two small children in their car seats, slumped over, and all of them were dead.
At that moment, a piece of me died. A lot of me died. When you hear that your baby brother's being, taken away, it hurts. You become disorientated. You experience anger. You want to know what happened, why it happened, who done it, and why. And then to go into the shocking part that the babies was in there with them, especially up to the point where you never seen one of them.
Yesterday, a whole family was wiped out yesterday because of one 19-year-old's actions, not caring for herself or caring for anybody else out there.
The cops come to the store and he said, can you please identify Shana in the car that she was in? And he said, well, I believe that's her that's been involved in a car accident. She went down I-20 the wrong way, killing 3 people. And at that moment, I had that bad feeling. I said, please tell me there was no kids involved. And he said there were 2 very small kids. And at that time, I went outside and fell down to the ground. Thankful, but at the same time, why?
The first time I seen my youngest niece, she was in the morgue. Let me describe to you what it was like. It's a very cold room. They got a metal table in there. They don't have on any clothes, right? They got something look like a piece of paper that's disposable that's laying over them, right? And they're laying on these cold metal tables.
Solicitor Barbara Morgan assures the Hearns family she'll see that justice is served, and it's justice they want.
The maximum amount of time that she's supposed to have for taking these 3 deaths. It won't bring my loved ones back, but at least she won't be able to go out here and drink and kill nobody else.
What I did was so wrong. And if I could take it back, I would. With all my heart, if I could take it back, I would.
Lively pleads with the family of Dexter Hearns and his 2 small children, asking if they could ever forgive her.
I know it's a great deal of pain, and I really don't think that I will ever feel the pain that you feel.
Lively will know what it's like to spend the next 25 years in jail, spending her 20s and 30s behind bars, now realizing she may never have children of her own.
And I pray that you guys will maybe one day, the thought of death within your heart, have a little bit of forgiveness.
That portion of my family is gone. There's nothing that I can do to undo what has been done. But who would it be next week? Would it be your family?
There's all sorts of victims. You got family members that become victims of such a tragedy such as this. Something with this magnitude and this much tragedy, you don't ever forget it. I mean, it stays with you. Anytime there's children involved in a fatal accident, it stays with you.
These are individuals like my brother and his 2 daughters. Those are what we call statistics, but they're not statistics. That's my brother and my 2 nieces. They're not a statistic. They're family members. I love them very much.
Jenny, any comments? You feel bad about the accident? You want to tell anybody where you got the alcohol? You have any words to the family?
teenage years are periods of time when your hormones override your intellect, where your musculature and your body functions are probably a great deal more developed than your mental ability. The problem, of course, is the law does not take that into consideration. They treat you as an adult. You are required to think, act, function, and respond pursuant to our laws as an adult. And if you suffer those consequences, regardless of your age, that's it.
Lively pled guilty to charges related to the crash. The sentence, 25 years in prison and a $10,000 fine.
That is not an accident. So I didn't call it an accident. I call it murder. Because you're willfully, as sure as you would take a gun out, went down a highway, hit someone head on or broadside her, and killed them just as dead as you would have took a gun out and walked up to him and executed him.
So we have this situation with Shayna where it gets completely out of control. The alcohol in people under 21 is a serious problem, and the addictive nature of starting drinking at a young age, there's really consequences to it. And the consequences were ultimately the most severe with Shayna.
Accidents happen, but alcohol-related accidents really aren't accidents. They're irresponsible acts on the part of a human being, which directly affects innocent people, and that, you know, and in this case it was just extremely tragic. I mean, these poor folks, they had no clue this was happening to them, that all of a sudden their life was snuffed out.
It's sad that Shayna's in jail for such a long time. She's missing out on everything. I mean, children, your education, I mean, everything. I mean, she's in there for a very, very long time.
The last walk is when you have to walk them to that hole, that gravesite. Your heart is in the casket with them. That is the longest, most painful walk that you would ever want to ever take.
I was the same way as far as thinking it would never happen to me in a million years, and it did. It's not worth losing your life over. You have so much ahead of you, and one fun night can end your life for the rest of your life. You could be in jail, never see sunlight again, never have children, a family, and there's so much more to life than that, and it's not worth losing everything around you.
When somebody dies, a cloud turns into an angel and flies up to tell God to put another flower on her pillow. A bird gives the message back to the world and sings a silent prayer that makes the rain cry. People disappear, but they never really go away. The spirits up there put the sun to bed, wake up the grass, and spin the earth in dizzy circles. Sometimes you can see them dancing in a cloud during the daytime when they're supposed to be sleeping. And when they sing wind songs, they whisper to us, "Don't miss me too much, the view is nice, and I'm doing just fine."